All right, all, we're going to get started. We appreciate you all coming today. We are doing the first quarter, which we just finished, the second quarter and third quarter awards all at once. We appreciate you all being here. I'm sorry for the delay. You guys are all well aware that COVID-19 has kind of thrown a wrench in the whole system, but we appreciate you coming today. We apologize that your family and friends can't be here to witness you getting these awards, but it'll be on social media later if you want to, encourage them to get on and watch you get your award. So, with that being said, we're going to start today with the second quarter awards for non-uniformed deputy of the quarter. For the second quarter, we have a group of individuals that are receiving this award. I'm going to ask them to kind of come stand up here. There's a lot of you, so just figure it out. Lieutenant Justin Kimbrough, Sergeant Santiago Roybal, you guys can come up as I call your names. Detective Aaron Schwartz, Detective Chris Toledo, Detective E.J. Garcia, Detective Jordan Skinner, Detective Mark Cerna, Detective Michael Barreco, Detective Nicholas De La Cruz, and Detective Wesley Barnes, who's now a sergeant, but at the time was a detective.
I didn't recognize them in their suits.
Yeah, they're looking sharp today. They don't always patrol the streets looking like this, but maybe we should implement that, huh? In March of 2020, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Community Action Team, which is comprised of the gentleman that you see up here today, began a community-based operation food, toilet paper, essentials, gathering these, putting them into boxes and delivering them to needy families and individuals in the community. This Upstart program soon developed into a large-scale project. It was supported by local businesses, nonprofits, and community volunteers. It's well known that strong relationships and mutual trust between police agencies and the communities they serve is critical in maintaining public order. And these guys have embodied that with this project. Over 30 different businesses, corporations were involved in this project. They partner with these individuals, these groups, these businesses, and work together in a collaborative effort to make sure that people in our community weren't going without the essentials that they needed during the COVID-19 pandemic. During this event, the Community Action Team delivered over 1,300 food and supply boxes and over 35,000 meals. Many of the warm meals that they were able to organize and orchestrate with some of the local restaurants went to essential medical personnel that were working the front lines during the COVID-19 testing process. The Community Action Team did a great job in this. They embodied the service mentality that this department employs on a regular basis. They worked nonstop to take phone calls from needy citizens and take referrals and make sure that the needs of all those individuals were met. Specifically building some boxes based on people's needs and families of 5 and 6 and 8 people, so they would organize the boxes accordingly. So I appreciate them. I appreciate their dedication. I appreciate their community involvement. Gentlemen, congratulations and job well done.
I just wanted to see if the lieutenant wanted to share with everybody just a little bit of what you took away from there, because I know I've had some conversations with you, and I know you've done a lot of operational things, a lot of investigative work, but I think there was a different perception after you finished up. Do you mind sharing that with everyone?
Sure. Some of those conversations that I had with the sheriff, like he mentioned, operational-wise and doing police work comes natural to me. It comes natural to these guys. But this operation was way different than your day-to-day police operations. I used to joke when I was sending the undersheriff, daily recaps or asking these guys, hey, we got to get this done, we got to get that done. It felt like we were running our own business, so we were in the private sector, had to run our own business, dealing with, civilians. And it was extremely humbling, extremely eye-opening. I wouldn't be, standing here today, and I know I get to be the one to talk because I'm the lieutenant, but it was these guys that put in the hard work. And these guys worked Monday through Saturday just to make sure that the needs of the civilians were met. Obviously, we had to borrow, warehouses from other businesses and other civilians, so we were working around those schedules, and these guys made the adjustments every single time. We won't work 6 days a week. This was through the pandemic, through COVID, and staying separate and keeping our groups down to 5. But We had guys out shopping every day, guys out and getting donations every day, some guys delivering boxes, some guys putting boxes together. So it was very humbling. It was very nice to see that the community came together, especially all the people that helped us out and don't get to stand here today and get any of that, that gratification. But there were plenty civilians, plenty of businesses, plenty of nonprofit organizations that were out there that really stepped up. Answering the phones for for these guys was a 24-hour-a-day thing, so they were rotating the phones. At no point did any of them ever complain or say that this isn't what we signed up to do. So for roughly approximately 2 months, these guys put in the work, 6 days a week, and made sure that it got done. So I was extremely proud of them.
Personally, thank you. I appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The sheriff's going to squeeze in and get a picture with you, so don't leave after you get your award there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stand in here.
You can take your mask off.
Hold your breath.
You wanna? Alright. I'm gonna need a bigger camera here.
Some of us lift weights.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Do you want us to sit or walk up?
It's up to you guys.
We'll have a seat and support the rest of them.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. For the second quarter, the Uniform Deputy of the Quarter award goes to a group of deputies. Some of them couldn't be here today, but I'll still read their names. The Deputy Chelsea Lopez, Taylor Feist, Deputy Amity Livingston, Deputy Jeremy Sanchez, Deputy Michael Fernandez, Deputy Robert Eichers, and Deputy Joshua Mora. In February of 2020, deputies were dispatched to a fatal crash. This unfortunate event had claimed the life of a teenager. This was an extremely tragic event, and these deputies recognized the need to do more for the grieving family of the other injured teens. Following the crash, these deputies, of their own accord and out of their own pocket, purchased food, gift cards, hygiene products, and groceries to provide financial relief and support the family who had lost their loved one. They did this, like I said, of their own accord, without somebody coming and telling them that they needed to step up. They again embodied that service mentality that we talk so much about at this department. Furthermore, Deputy Joshua Mora ensured that the Mothers Against Drunk Driving MAD was involved and was an available resource to the decedent's family. Later, following these deputies creating a relationship with this family, the deputies were invited to a candlelight vigil, and the family requested that these deputies be there as a support system for the surviving members of the crash and also for the grieving family members. These deputies went above and beyond to support and care for our community. They embody community service. Thank you all and congratulations. You guys can slide down this way a little bit.
Awesome.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you all. All right, we have numerous recipients who have earned the Life Saving Award for the second quarter. The first group is Deputy Cutter Pride, Deputy Benjamin Cloud, Deputy Paul Roseman, and Deputy Christopher Toole. In April of this year, these deputies were dispatched to a possible domestic violence call. Upon arrival to the chaotic scene, they quickly realized that this was not a domestic violence call, but that a female had overdosed and was unresponsive. The deputies administered Narcan and provided life-saving measures. The female was ultimately transported to the hospital for treatment. Had the deputies not quickly and accurately assessed the situation, then they might not have responded appropriately, and the female might have died. But in this case, they relied on their training, they relied on each other in a team police concept, and they did an outstanding job in saving the life of this female. I'll say this, often we get dispatched to calls that are titled one thing, and we, in our mind, may walk through what we're gonna do when we get there. But when we get there, it's nothing what we thought. And these deputies had to process through that. They actually detained an individual who was shaking a female, thinking that it was domestic violence. But they were able to figure it out quickly, provided life-saving measures, and ultimately saved the life of this female. Gentlemen, congratulations, and thank you for your service. The next life-saving award goes to Deputy Robert Eichers. In February of 2020, Deputy Eichers responded to a shooting. Deputies located a male subject in a vehicle. The subject had a gunshot wound to his back. Deputy Eichers quickly performed life-saving first aid, including the application of a chest seal to the victim's wounds. Had Deputy Eichers not acted quickly, the man likely would have died. Excellent job by Deputy Eichers. This was not in our area command. Ultimately, this investigation went to the Albuquerque Police Department. But whether it's our jurisdiction or outside of our jurisdiction, the service that you get from the Sheriff's Department is always outstanding, and Deputy Eichers is a good representation of that outstanding service. Thank you, sir, for
You go to your right.
excellent job, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The next life-saving award goes to Deputy Taylor Feist. In April of 2020, while headed into work, Deputy Feist rolled up on what she thought was a motor vehicle crash involving a pedestrian. She noticed a male victim lying in the roadway. As she approached, she quickly realized that the male had not been involved in a crash but had been shot numerous times. In addition, as she was assessing the scene, a female approached her with a gunshot wound to her arm. Deputy Feist provided life-saving first aid, including a chest seal and a tourniquet. She single-handedly managed a chaotic crime scene, providing first aid, obtaining and broadcasting a description of the offender, and locating witnesses. Again, this was when she was en route to work. She wasn't dispatched to this call. She simply rolled up on a scene. This scene happened to also be in the jurisdiction of the Albuquerque Police Department. Later, high-ranking members of the Albuquerque Police Department commended her for her outstanding job. Her actions saved at least one life that day. She was also able to get a good description of the offenders, like I said, and detain witnesses for the Albuquerque Police Department to do a thorough investigations. Congratulations, Deputy Feist. That concludes the second quarter awards. I really appreciate your dedication, your service. You guys embody what we want to be on a daily basis. You're a good representation of law enforcement. You're a good representation of public servants. And I appreciate and respect all of you for what you've done. Thank you all very much.